Yes, so this was not a video that I was planning on making today. I know that's what they all say, but like literally I was not going to make this video today, but then something turned up at my door and I just knew I had to film this video. So today we're going to be doing a first impression of the brand new Jeffree Star Thirsty palette. I can't believe it's come so soon. It's the 22nd of June, I think, today, and I ordered this on the pre-order on Beauty Bay the day, well, not just the day, the moment it was released, which I think was the 16th, so that was like a week ago, so 7 days ago. It did put a little bit of like a disclaimer on there saying that these palettes were not going to actually be sent out until like 10 days after the pre-order. So I was like the most shocked today when a guy turned up with a Beauty Bay box. I was like, Beauty Bay, what have I been ordering from Beauty Bay? The fucking Thirsty palette, but that's not meant to be here for a few more days. Here the feck it is. I'm just like, yes. So as always, today we're just going to dibble dabble around in this palette. I'm going to do swatches and then I'm going to do a look on my eyes and I can tell you what I think of the palette. So this is the outer packaging. So this is the outer packaging. It looks really, really beautiful. It looks kind of different to Jeffree's usual kind of stuff. I only have one other eyeshadow palette by Jeffree Star, which is the Androgyny palette. I absolutely adore this. I find that I don't really use these two shades all that often, but I love all of the other ones. I think the formula is great as well. I was kind of torn, as I'm sure a lot of people were, between the Thirsty palette and the Manny MUA Life's a Drag palette. My vagina was just screaming for this palette, and the reason why was the beautiful coral. Anyway, let's just look inside. I mean, really. Okay, so I love the outer packaging. Again, it feels a step away from Jeffree's usual kind of aesthetic, but I do think it looks very like summery, just perfect for a summer release. Okay, so oopsie. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at this, guys. I mean, unsurprisingly, it looks just like it does in the photos, but these kind of shimmer shadows in the middle, they look textured, particularly this one at the end. It looks almost like it might be crushed pigment. This is the reason why I got this palette. Also the kind of yellowy shade, and you know what, in the pictures I thought that these two looked really, really similar, but they actually look very, very different. You've got a definite kind of turquoisey green shade and then a kind of powdery baby blue here. Also, I love the look of this kind of, it's not a camel shade and it's not a brown, it's just a beautiful kind of like grey brown shade, which I think is most interesting. Do you know what, I'm just loving the look of this palette. It's everything that I thought it would be and more. Oh, it also has a big mirror. I'm just gonna rip this off. You know, when I was younger, right, we got some new sofas and my mum was like, well, we're gonna leave the plastic on. I'm like, what why are we leaving the plastic on? Just to keep it nice. That fucking plastic was on for 2 years. What's the point? You could be dead tomorrow. I mean, really. But anyway, okay, so the mirror looks very nice indeed. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fecking mirror. Like I've said before, I never understand it when people say, oh my gosh, this is such a good quality mirror. It's a fecking mirror. I can see myself in it. Okay, so we've got the beautiful coral shade, which actually looks a bit more like, I don't know, like a neon orange. We've got a light pink shade and then like a creamy shade. So I'm just going to swatch them here. Do you know what? Oh, the first thing that just comes to my mind is I've got palettes that I've paid a couple of pounds for from AliExpress and they've had better pigmentation than this. However, I do feel like it's important to say that these are swatches. I've had eyeshadows that swatch terribly and perform beautifully on the eyes, so swatches can't really be trusted is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we have the next three. I am going to swatch the shimmers after the mattes. Oh, do you know what? I'm not like overwhelmed with excitement so far for these swatches. They're not terrible. My bra is not popping off at this point. Okay, so here we have a very colourful set of fingertips. We've got the yellow, the blue and then the green. Okay, that's beautiful. Beautiful, but not very pigmented. And then beautiful. Okay, so my arm is starting to look interesting. I must say these all look a little bit boring, but then these colourful 3 shades have really brought the kind of colour family to life. How much of a pretentious dickhead do I sound right now? I mean, really, guys, every time I say pigmented, I feel like a pretentious dickhead. I feel like people are cringing. I cringe inside when I say pigmented sometimes, if it makes you feel any better. Okay, and the final matte we have is this kind of chocolate brown shade. I'm just going to pop him there. He seems nicely pigmented. Happy about that. This light shade, I feel, although you can barely see it, would be good for like an all over eyelid setting kind of situation. Okay, I'm so excited to dip my finger into this one here. I've just got a really good feeling in my vagina about it. Vaginas. I mean, guys, look at this. Gosh, I'm going to swatch that one up. What is that? Oh my gosh. What kind of formula is this? Guys, I've never seen a swatch quite like this before. Wow, my gosh. Okay. I'm excited, I'm pumped up, my pants have popped off. Let's do the next shimmer. Oh my gosh, these shimmers are something to behold. Oh gosh, guys, it's so good. Oh my gosh, like this, look at this. They're kind of dry and a little bit gravelly to the touch, but these are bomb diggity to the bomb, to the vagina, to the bomb diggity bomb, to the clitoris bomb diggity. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to go in with the gold. Oh, guys, like these shimmers are a completely different formula to any shimmer I've ever experienced in my life. Like, I'm so sorry to be shouting and screaming like a drunk baboon, but these, I think you can see, like, I don't need to say anything. These are something else. This silver one, though, my eye is just like drawn to it, like, holy. Okay, and we've got the final one just here. Okay, I'll just swatch that there. They do feel gravelly, like this one felt like it had little bits of like sand in it almost, but guys, wow, oh my gosh, like I've never experienced shimmers quite like these before. I've only watched, I think, actually I don't know if I've watched any reviews on this palette. I don't think I have, you know, because it's early days and I never seem to get a palette in the early days. Like I've not heard anyone really raving about these, and I feel like why have I not heard about these shimmers before now? I mean, really. Okay, so guys, I've done the swatches. I'm desperate to get onto an eye look, plus I've got to go get Andres from school in like half an hour, so time is not on my side. I think today I'm going to begin with just popping this kind of non-existent shade all over my lid. You know what? I wish that eyeshadow palettes did not have this shade, because let's face it, we've probably got more than one palette, and every single palette seems to contain this like barely there nude, I'm only good for setting your eyelid kind of shade. Well, we've got that fucking shade in every other palette. We don't need it in every single palette that we have. Do you know what I mean, guys? I mean, how rude is that? I mean, really, guys. Anyway, it should not be included as part of the palette, in my opinion. So, okay, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to bash something out. Definitely going to put either the silver or this champagne shade in the middle of my lid. And my vagina probably as well. Okay, so let's, oh, Shania Twain. So I'm going to begin with, okay, I'm popping that all over the lid is what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just going to use my finger. I mean, why not? And I'm going to use my fabulous mirror. It feels very, very soft. Sorry, this is not the most exciting viewing. I get that. And when doing her eyelids with the non-existent shade, no one can see. Look, I've got a bit of glitter there. That was left over from a video I filmed earlier. Okay, right, so guys, next I'm going to go in with, oh gosh, this is tough. Like, I thought it was going to be easy, but it's really not. I'm going to go in with the yellow. I mean, what do you think about that? Yellow is a tough colour probably to get right. So let's test that fecker out is what I say. Let's test it out, Jeffree, and see what you've been up to in the lab with your yellow. Oh my gosh, guys, look at that. She is very bold. She is coming to the party. She's getting it started. She's matching my shirt. Look at that pigmentation, guys. Again, cringing inside. I know that you are probably as well. Like, if we all got £1 for every time a YouTuber said the word pigmented, maybe opaque, we would all be rich people right now. We'd have Jeffree Star palettes popping out of our ears. You thought I was going to say vagina, didn't you? I know. Sorry, guys. No, I'm changing my ways. I promise I will not mention a vagina anymore in the video. Okay, so I've got a little bit of fallout just coming on under my eyes, but I don't mind because, wow, this shade is so pretty and I'm just loving it. It's come to town. It's got the party started. Yes. Okay, next I'm going to go in with the beautiful coral shade. I have no idea what look I'm creating here. I'm just going with it. I just want to mess about with some of the shades and, you know, see what I could create. It kind of looks like I'm going to be going for a sunset eye. Shadows are blending beautifully. They're not the most pigmented. Like, they do come off looking a tad bit kind of, you know, like faded on the eye. I think that in some ways, you know, you shouldn't really overblend them because you will lose a lot of the pigment. But look at this. Oh my gosh. I feel very summery all of a sudden. Do you know what? I'm just dying to get on with the shimmers, if I'm being honest here. Okay, so next I'm going to apply a bit of this baby pink kind of shade. It's not just like a baby pink. It's got a little bit of like an edge to it. An edge to it, what? Could pink ever have an edge to it? I don't know. A pink dildo could. I mean, that's for sure. Okay, so I feel like that's created a really kind of unique looking coral on my eye because I've kind of mixed it up with the yellow as well. I'm just really, really loving it. Okay, so I'm also going to pop a little bit of the coral underneath my eye. That is sensational, guys. Look at that. Oh my gosh. These colours so far seem to mix really well together because this under my eye is simply, you know, this kind of corally shade just here. And because I started off with the yellow in my crease and then I did the coral shade, I've got this more kind of, more like an orangey peachy kind of shade on my crease. But then you can see, like, in its like true solo mission form, it is quite pink. I feel like I'm just going to go all out today with colour because, I mean, this palette calls for it. I mean, how can you not go for a colourful eye with this palette? I mean, even Manny could not create a nude eye with this palette. I know a lot of people don't like Jeffree Star, and I know that he is a controversial character. Personally, like for me, I don't know, I just enjoy the makeup. I don't really think too much about like the person unless they were like, you know, a serial killer or something, and then, you know, I would not be buying their makeup. But I try not to like really get too into like drama or anything like that. She says that she loves a bit of drama. Like, I love watching a bit of drama. I know there's a lot of people that don't approve of Jeffree, but I kind of like his makeup, guys. I mean, I am going to move on to the shimmer because, you know, I'm just dying to use it. I'm going to grab this little brush right here. This is from Morphe. I'm just going to go straight in with, I'm going to go with the silver, I think, because, should I go with the silver? I don't know. Oh, it doesn't look great on the eye. What? Are you meant to apply these with your finger? I'm sure that I might have heard somewhere him say that. Okay, I'm going to go in with, as much as I want to go in with this silver, I'm going to go in with this more champagne-y tone just because I feel like it would complement my eye a lot more. One thing to mention is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's almost like, right, these shimmers are pressed glitters. They don't feel like your typical eyeshadow. On my finger, which I don't know if you can see it or not, there's lots of little, like, I think of it as like grains of sand. Like, if you imagine it feels like they're loose. They've been kind of pressed down, but maybe not pressed down as hard as maybe the other shadows in, you know, in the palette and just in the world in general, you know. So I'm just going to use my finger to apply. Oh my gosh. And you know, when it goes on the eyelid, it's almost like the little pieces, it just kind of melt. Oh, guys, look at that. Do you know what it really reminds me of? The Steel and Magnificent Metals, because it's so glittery. Oh, guys, I should be giving Jeffree a round of applause for this. Oh my gosh, like, these shimmers are outstandingly good. Like, I don't need to put Fix Plus on it. It just looks like my eyes glistening, like, you know, I'm a table at a wedding and I've got the most glistening tablecloth on me, just like shimmering away like, hey, welcome to the wedding, everybody. I'm your table for this evening. Come and eat on me. It's absolutely gorgeous. These, I'm just going to say right now, the best shimmers I've ever used. The finest shimmer that I ever used. And I know you're watching this saying, Anwen, you've only just put one on your eye. Look at that on my finger, guys. And look at these on my wrist. Well, they're not my wrist. They're on my hand. But on my person. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to just do the other eye so that I can bring it up to speed with the fabulousness that's going on over here. And then I will be right back to give you my final thought. Okay, so I have finished the look. This is what I've created. It's a definite something of a sunset eye kind of look. I had to put my summery dingly dangly earrings in today just because I was suddenly feeling so seriously summery because of the palette. I am overwhelmed with happiness about the palette. I had confidence that it was going to be good. As I said, I've not watched any other reviews at this point, but because I like my androgyny palette, I just had a good feeling that the Thirsty palette was going to be good quality. However, it's definitely exceeded my expectations. Shimmers. I mean, the shimmers, you saw my reaction. The shimmers are what makes this palette for me. Aside from the fact that I love the colourful shades in it, the shimmers are something else. Like, look, I cannot take them off my hand because they're so beautiful. If you love a good shimmer, you're gonna love the shimmers in this palette. The rest of the eyeshadows are beautiful. They blend well. They've got good pigmentation. But for me, it's the shimmers. The shimmers, I just feel like you could just get a t-shirt at this point saying the shimmers with an arrow pointing to the shimmers, and then that's it. I could just end the video on that note. Do you feel as well there's different formulas in the shimmers? Like these two at the end, I know I only used one on my eye, but just from like swatching, these two felt almost grainy, as if there was like, you know, little bits of sand in there. So I definitely do feel like they are more of a pressed kind of pigment. The silver one here is just the most intense shimmer I think I've ever witnessed in my life. I cannot wait to play around a bit more with this palette, create more looks. It just is exciting my whole being and vagina, of course, right now. The only negative that I have to say, kind of concerning the mattes, is that, like, and I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, but they do remind me a little bit of like my cheaper eyeshadow palettes where like they have good pigment, but I find that if you, like, Makeup Revolution eyeshadows are similar to this, but if you blend them too much, they can just like fade and disappear. And I feel like these, the ones that I've tried anyway, which was the yellow and these two shades, I also did go in and put a little bit of this just into the crease to try and, like, you know, build up the shade a little bit more. I just feel like you don't need to kind of over blend them like you might do with other shadows, which in itself is a positive thing if you think about it, because you don't have to just waste your life blending. Also, I definitely feel like with the shimmers, to look back to the shimmers again, she just is obsessed with the shimmers, obviously, but I feel like the shimmers are just exceptional. I just feel like there's something else, like this. Robot is had enough. As I was applying the champagne shimmer to my other eye, I was thinking to myself, do you know what? I think this might benefit from having a layer of glitter glue underneath it, just because I don't know if you can see it, but there's definitely like little particles of like loose glitter within the eyeshadow. Yeah, I do think it would benefit from glitter glue. I just could not be arsed trying to locate my glitter glue, so I didn't use it. And I did end up with a little bit of fallout just like under my eye. Okay, so guys, I am going to go before I just bore you all to death, just raving on and on about the shimmers. I feel like all of the other eyeshadows in this palette have kind of paled in comparison to how much I love the shimmers. I think the mark of like a really good palette is that after you've used it once, you're just like really, really excited, you know, to kind of open it up again and use it again. And that's definitely how I'm feeling about this palette. If you compare it to Jeffree's Androgyny palette, it's kind of like the polar opposite. It's like this one is like the dark queen, and this one's like the sunshiny, colourful, bright queen. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're polar opposites of each other. But I mean, I love them both. I think they're both wonderful, but... Okay, so guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this first impression. I hope that it's been somewhat useful to you if you were thinking of buying this palette. If I've missed anything out, which I'm sure I have because I've just been raving on about the shimmers. So if I've missed anything, please do let me know in the comments down below, downstairs, in the basement, in the comments. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more.